Ffion Davies is the most accomplished British grappler of all time. She's won everything there is to win in the sport of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and she's done it all in under 10 years. How has someone that started BJJ at 18 just to supplement their MMA training gone on to win both gi and no-gi worlds, as well as the most prestigious competition of all, ADCC? Ffion's grappling journey started when she was just 8 years old. Her parents got her into judo as they were practitioners themselves, and she quickly fell in love with the competition side of the sport.
And I was just doing it for fun, and then I wanted to compete, and I started competing like most weekends then. My mum would just drive me up and we'd do a competition sometimes twice in a weekend as well, so it was very intense.
Her judo career reached a peak when she won the British Championships as a cadet and was selected for the Welsh squad. Despite the success she was having, Ffion decided to leave the sport behind as she felt excluded from the rest of the judo community, an outsider who didn't fit in.
I was really quiet and didn't have many friends in judo as well. That sounds so sad, but I didn't, and there's a bit of, not bullying, but I wasn't included in the friendship group.
She has said that MMA stars Ronda Rousey and Brett Johns, both from a judo background, inspired her to finally get back into combat sports at the age of 18. She wanted to pursue an MMA career of her own, and this is where Jiu-Jitsu comes back into the picture. Ffion started training exclusively no-gi in order to supplement her MMA career. It was also a way to separate herself from judo, having fallen out of love with the sport. Although against her nature, she was initially reluctant to compete due to her history as a competitive judoka. However, after watching team members at the Welsh Open, she wanted to throw her hat into the ring. Very shortly after, Ffion was already showing her class on a world stage. She won the no-gi worlds at blue belt, and from that moment onwards, she'd forgotten about ever returning to MMA. She had fallen in love with Jiu-Jitsu. At this point in Ffion's career, it seemed like she was doing great things, but it also seemed like she was plagued by a dichotomy familiar to many in combat sports. A lack of self-belief and a powerful desire to win.
Being so competitive that it holds you back as well. I feel like recently I've kind of broken through that a bit better, but...
How so?
Just, you're so competitive, you don't want to ever lose, ever. So how do you try new things? And then when I lost a fight, it was relief, but then I was well, that just proves I'm shitty anyway. It's very odd, very conflicting ideas, whereas being really competitive, but also just thinking I'm terrible and I don't deserve to win anyway.
But her love for the sport of Jiu-Jitsu and the community within is at the heart of why she kept going. Ffion's self-critical nature seemed to trick her into thinking she doesn't deserve to be competing at the top level, even though she's winning world titles. You can see this happen when she talks about her success in her early judo career too.
You had to win the British to get in it, and then as a junior I won it, but then I didn't get in anyway because, I don't know, probably because I'm shite. But I just felt a lot of pressure from it.
You won the British.
Yeah, it was it's a weird system. I think it's
I love that she was going back to I just got scraped past the bronze.
No,
also, I won the British.
Ffion first appeared at ADCC 2017 as a brown belt, after winning the European trials as a purple belt. She was drawn against the reigning champion, Bia Mosquita, who caught Ffion with an armbar early into the match, but it was clear that Ffion didn't go to those championships to win. To me, this loss is a pivotal point in Ffion's journey. This is where she starts to realise that her mindset is potentially holding her back.
I was kind of I don't even have a chance here. And I didn't think I was going to win at all. I was just sort of okay, well, it's nice to be here.
Up to this point, her skill has carried her through matches, but to go any further, her mindset needed to change. She travelled back to Ireland with this in mind and started preparing for the next ADCC, which was 2 years away. After winning her first round against Rikako Yuasa, Ffion was drawn against Bia again. It was her chance to avenge the loss from 2 years ago, to prove to herself that she does deserve to be here. She deserves to be on the big stage. This isn't just another match. This is Bia Mosquita, the reigning ADCC champion and a ferocious competitor feared by almost everyone in the division.
I don't know, everyone was sort of oh, maybe fight for bronze kind of thing. Everyone was quite, not everyone, but anyone I talked to was sort of oh, you've got Bia. So, it was kind of you're out. They counted me out, and I could tell.
Not only did she win the match, she beat her via submission, armbar.
Ffion Davies twisting and contorting that arm, and she does it! Ffion Davies!
The same submission Bia caught her in 2 years earlier. It was as poetic as it was cathartic, and with that it was on to the final. This was Ffion's chance to leave no doubt in her mind that she belonged here and become the first ever British ADCC champion. She would face Bianca Basilio in the final, and an opponent she was familiar with, having competed with her 3 times before this. She had lost twice and won
loves
once.
the leg locks, even with the gi.
Yeah, like I tore my MCL, like it wasn't, I think it was only like a grade 2, but like like my foot like fully like ruptured, like fully tore.
Fion's got a cross heel hook.
Oh, and Bianca gets the toe hold.
She got it.
Gets the win.
Shit. But yeah, like so that took a while to recover, and then obviously like, you know, it's just sad. It's more sad than injured, to be honest, but what can you do? Happens.
Bianca Basilio is your 2019 ADCC World Champion.
Ffion had gone from the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. She defeated the reigning champion and avenged her loss, but to come so close was a bitter pill to swallow. But it hurt so much because she wasn't there to compete anymore. She was there to win. After a COVID delay, we're back at ADCC in 2022. Ffion had another chance to put the crown on an already fantastic career. After starting Jiu-Jitsu in 2013 and incredibly getting her black belt only 5 years later, she's gone on to win the World Championships both in and out of the gi. The ADCC Championships is the last title in the sport that's eluded her. Ffion breezed through the first round against the tough Adele Fornerino, up 10-0 before finishing with a rear naked choke to move on to yet another match with rival Bia Mesquita. Despite dominating the whole match, Ffion was unable to get the submission, but the sheer control and dominance was undeniable. She's now gone full circle, from not even believing she deserved to be on the same mat as Bia, to beating her at 2 ADCCs in a row to reach the final. I think that after this win, something clicked in Ffion's mind. You can see visibly her saying, "I knew it," as if she won the battle against her mind, proving to herself that she truly is the best.
You just know deep down that you're going to win, and I had I'd seen a few comments of people saying that the win against Bia was probably a fluke. And, you know, like, it's more like to yourself as well. I was wondering myself, was it a fluke? It'd been 3 years since I fought her. But then I was sort of like, I don't know, I just had like that feeling, like that gut feeling that I was going to win before it even, to be honest. I don't know why. It's really hard to describe like how you know, but it's just like a gut feeling.
But she still had a final to win.
And there we see Ffion Davies making her way down the stage. A fan favorite here at ADCC.
Gets the points.
After a grueling 20-minute match where Ffion dominated every minute, she beat Canadian Brianna Stee Marie 10-0.
And she's going in on a choke. Ffion Davies has a choke. It looks like it might be across the chin here. Countdown has begun. 10 seconds left.
Oh, like, I really truly thought I was going to win. Like, I don't know, I always feel like I can win. Even when I have so much proof otherwise, I'm like, nah, I'm going to win, it's good.
Ffion Davies is your 2022 ADCC World Champion.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm going to do it. And everyone's going to be surprised. I love being the underdog as well. I love it when people are like, she's going to lose. And I'm like, no. Prove you wrong. It's when people think I'm going to win. That's where they fuck it up. People are like, Ffion can win. And I'm like, let me show you I can't. So.
Ffion could finally add the title that eluded her thus far and cement her place as the best female grappler in the world, as well as the best ever British grappler. But for me, this isn't a story about her conquering the world of Jiu-Jitsu. It's a story about her conquering her battle with her mind. Not only has she won everything possible, but she's learned how to believe in herself whilst doing it.
In 2019, you took the silver medal. Today, you became a world champion. What was the difference for you?
I really do believe in myself finally, and I'm surrounded by a lot of really positive and kind people, and I'm just really grateful to them for helping me get through it. So yeah, just want to say a big shout out to my team, Essential, and all my friends at East Coast as well.